A stark admission today, nurse Nina Pham might never have gotten sick if the CDC had immediately sent a rapid response team of infection control experts to Dallas as soon as Thomas Eric Duncan tested positive.
I wish we had put a team like this on the ground the day the first patient was diagnosed. That might have prevented this infection.
As the midterms barrel down upon America, becoming an elected official from any state has become much more than just being concerned with potholes in the local streets and whether or not there's a fan under your desk for those heated commission meetings. It's now all about attack ads, health care, the longest war in recent American history, and a virus that went ignored for years but is now on every potential doorstep. Let us delve into all these matters. Welcome into Midpoint, candidate for lieutenant governor in the state of Colorado, who proudly calls herself the product of a Reagan Republican and Kennedy Democrat. There's one good story to tell. Jill Repella joins us today on the show. Jill, thanks so much for being here.
Thank you for having me.
Jill, when I look at some of the new headlines right now coming out of Denver, the Denver Post, Colorado Ebola threat low but not to be ignored according to health officials. You then are someone who is getting involved in running a state and being involved in the welfare of the individuals there, knowing what we're going through around the country right now. Do you then see that Ebola is simply an inevitability, that even the people of Colorado and every elected official has got to be hammering away at this every single day to make sure that you're prepared?
Absolutely. I think everyone across the country is very concerned of this issue. When you look at priority spending, it's concerning that we have diminished the priority spending with the CDC and not focused it on infectious diseases. There seems to be political tug of war on this issue, but we need to get it away from the politics and we need to do what's right. It's concerning for the general public to continue to hear, oh, we made a mistake here, or we wish we would have done that. We need to stop making those excuses and do the right thing and protect the public.
What is the right thing, though, I think that a lot of people would like to ask? Because if you and Bob Beaupre get into power, you now have the state. You have to be concerned about the state and the people there, knowing full well that the federal government seems to have missed the boat on every single facet of this. And even the CDC is missing the boat. What could you do at the state level to make sure that your people are protected?
Put all healthcare workers on top notice, give them all the training and the tools they need to respond to this crisis. We need to reassure the public, but we need to not make excuses and tell the public there's nothing to worry about. We need to take full action and make sure that we do everything we can to protect the public and put all the protocols in place. The healthcare providers are the first ones that are going to have access and contact with this problem and this issue. They need to have every tool, every means, every training possible to allow them to respond to this crisis.
Do the healthcare providers, in your opinion, seem to be becoming a scapegoat here? Because certainly what happened in Dallas, the very first thing that a lot of the media jumped on was it was the nurse's fault. The nurse didn't do the right job. Now, of course, a week or so later, we're finding out a very different story. So it seems as if they are becoming the scapegoat in all this.
Well, I think healthcare providers are going to respond to how the CDC responds to it. If the CDC doesn't take it seriously and react and respond and get to the site, then the healthcare providers are not going to take the situation as seriously either. I think it's pretty heightened now. I think everyone across the country is very aware of what's going on, and I hope we take every means possible to deal with this very seriously. This could have a significant impact across our country. It could be a big crisis, and I don't think we should be downplaying it. We should just respond to it in a very serious manner. It's critical.
About a minute or so we have left. We'll take a break, come back with a whole lot more. But in this last segment here, what does it then say to you and the people of Colorado specifically about the leadership in Washington when a lot of the things you've just discussed, a lot of the things we're talking about here were so badly missed and so mishandled?
Well, it's nice to see that our president is finally taking a break from his campaign fundraising to stop and take a look at this and deal with it seriously. When leadership doesn't take things seriously, down the whole line of chain of command, they don't take it seriously. It's nice to see that we're getting some reaction now. I hope it's not too late, and I hope we can get this contained.
How concerned are you, just briefly here before we take a break, about your family and Ebola? Because we hear about it so much from the health ideals, but what about just from that of a mom?
Oh, very concerned. I mean, just the mere fact that someone who was infected boarded a flight. You hear all the time about how on airplanes and flights how diseases can spread. It's very concerning, and I'm concerned How are we now going to contain it? All those who have been exposed, how do we wrap around everyone who's been exposed and contain it much better than we did when it was a much smaller issue? I'm very concerned as a mother, as most everybody across the country is and should be.
Take a break. We're back on the other side with more from Colorado Lieutenant Governor candidate Joe Repella.